Dallas Stars and the New York Rangers tonight inside the American Airlines Center. Our starting goaltenders race a pretty good matchup tonight.
Well, Kari Lehtinen has been mostly magnificent on the road, but hasn't really sparkled here at home, where he's just 6-5-5 with a goals against average over 3. Henrik Lundqvist has also been radiant on the road. He's won 6 of 9 away from MSG, and he was remarkable in a 3-2 win here last season.
Cody Eakin in the middle with Ryan Garbutt and Antoine Roussel. Alex Goligoski, John Klingberg on the blue line for the Stars. Eakin will match up against what is essentially the Rangers' top line. It is Derek Brassard, Matt Zuccarello, and Rick Nash, number 61. Nash leads the New York Rangers with 23 goals and 36 points. Here's Roussel, a quick change on the defense right away for Alain Vigneault. Girardi and McDonough most likely to see Ben and Seguin. Here's Eakin, fanned on it at the line. He's pressured and then throws it on in. Dan Boyle, Mark Stahl back on defense for the New York Rangers. There's get Ben out here quickly. Early chess game. Derek Stepan takes the line, but Marty St. Louis is offside.
Well, no shocker, Lindy Ruff sees the key to better success here at home, hinging on smart, simple, hard-working defending. Can't seem to fully purge the big cadaverous coverage errors in their own zone that have cost them some goals against, especially early on in games, or turnovers, although they've trimmed the turnover equation down quite a bit.
Tyler Seguin had a big night in the faceoff circle in St. Louis the other night. Dallas's best faceoff man. He wins the draw here, but the Stars ice the puck.
Well, Ben had a good game the other night in St. Louis as well, right from the get-go all the way through. Kind of led with his type of game, the meaty, physical style. He and Seguin seem to trade off as far as faceoffs are concerned. It's nice when Seguin can take most of his draws on this side, his strong side.
Gets a little bit of help from Jason Demers, partnered with Jordy Ben. Long pass out to center. Sevier set it down and attacks. Ben stepping away from McDonough. Shot it. Doesn't get to the net. And then Sevier turned to try and whack it home. Nash will carry it out. Rick Nash to center, shooting it in. Kari Lehtinen stops it back of his net. Jordy Ben picked up an assist in the win in St. Louis on Saturday night. Handed it off to Sevier. Out to Jason Demers at center ice. Softly to the line. Didn't want an icing. And Kevin Klein steps up and shoots it in. Stepping along the boards. Kreider was looking for the pass. Stolen inside the Dallas line by Kreider, and then Hemsky got it back out to center before losing out to Stepan. He shoots it in a pad stop. Lehtinen. It's cut up and it wasn't Jordy Ben's gear, and Spezza to the line, not out. Kreider shooting it in. Spezza with Cole and Hemsky, and here's Spezza. Good feed ahead. Spezza to Hemsky. Backhand shot. Couldn't get it off. John Moore came over to make the play. Jokipaka to Trevor Daley. Kreider out to challenge. He'll shoot it around behind. Lundqvist stopped it. Hayes unable to contain the puck. Jokipaka down the boards. And John Moore up ahead. Hayes tried to catch it at center. Jokipaka sends it forward. Here comes Horcoff. Burrowing in. Dropped it for Daley. A shot. Henrik Lundqvist with the save.
Jokipaka scared Hayes with the little clap. Well, some really bad and then some good. Hemsky got overtaken and turned the puck over twice in neutral ice. Led to Stepan ripping one off the blocker. Kari Lehtinen could have made up for it. Sweet feed on the backhand by Spezza. And Hemsky lost the puck in tight on his move to the backhand. Critical execution, especially early in games, necessary.
The Rangers don't give you much. Given up, we talked about in the open, only 11 goals in their last 8 games. They've won all 8. Fiddler shooting it in. Fiddler, Horcoff, and Travis Moen got back in the lineup and scored the game's first goal in St. Louis on Saturday night after sitting for 5. Jordy Ben against JT Miller. Fiddler popping away from Girardi. A hit along the boards, and it's Horcoff giving it to Fiddler in the corner. Shove, Tanner Glass. Take the body a lot. Got it out to Miller at center. He'll pop it on in. Lehtinen has to let it go to the corner. Miller and Demers lock up there. Jordy Ben off to Horcoff. And it's Moen dragging it out to center ice, eluding Dominic Moore. Seguin swing and a miss at center. And the Rangers will take over. 8-game win streak has propelled them to a 19-10-4 record, and they are third in the Metropolitan Division and in the hunt in the East. There goes Jamie Benn turning the corner. Benn couldn't pull it to the forehand. To the line for Goligoski. Now to Klingberg right side. Back in front toward Benn. It's knifed into the corner and off the boards. Goligoski shooting it. That one off Lundqvist's glove.
Had to look through a lot of bodies to find that, too.
Sagan got away from Klein, pitched it out. Klingberg shot it, blocked in front. And then it's worked to the corner for Sevier, who centers it. Sagan spun but tapped it out to Klingberg. Hit Jamie Benn in the skates. Hayes locking up Benn. And Hagelin from outside the Dallas line with Stempniak. He shoots it in. Stempniak pushed aside by John Klingberg.
Well, the advantage of being at home and you get different matchups and advantageous matchups. Real good play by Klingberg. Spark all that. Stays up on Stempniak on the boards. That little play along the boards ends up turning it back up for Ben. He goes around the corner, but reminiscent of the chance that Hemsky had moments ago. Couldn't get the shot off in tight.
Starts with Trevor Daley, worked that puck away. Deacon barreling in on Stahl. Stahl trying to fend him off. Garbage going over there with Dan Boyle in the corner. Roussel back of the net. Broussard out front, and here comes Boyle ahead to center ice. On the wing to Zuccarello. Backhand shot. Lettman to the wall. Broussard leads the Rangers with 19 assists. He's second in scoring behind Nash. Boyle from the line. They work it deep to Nash. Tried to step out on Daley. Needed a little help and got it.
He can change the point of attack by so much. He's so rangy. Like 6, 7, 8 feet. One little move.
Daley now taking it over, shooting it in. Lundqvist into the corner, right to Cole. Tried to pop it back in front. Cole's buried in the corner. Stepan moved it forward. In comes Kreider, and a penalty coming up on Jason Demers.
Kreider has great wheels, and he was using them there along with his strength and stick into the skates. This was pretty iffy. I don't blame Demers for arguing this. Comes across. He just went down. That's just good defending. It was a weak call. He didn't clutch onto him. He didn't do anything. He just knocked the player down. Dribbles in on Kari Lettinen. Instead, Demers is going to have to sit banished for 2 minutes or less, and this improving New York Ranger power play goes to work.
5 for 18 over their last 5 games. They're climbing toward mid-pack. Dallas penalty killers have had some trouble. They seem to pull up and get a kill when they need it. Trevor Daley shoots this all the way down. There's to watch for. Marty St. Louis leads them with 4 power play goals. 3 of them tied with 3.
Good deep by Lundqvist on Fiddler behind the net. Don't see that very often.
Boyle.
This is the guy that makes it go. Stepan.
Passing it off. Rangers get it in. That's Nash. Broussard off to the side of the net. Around to St. Louis. Boyle on top. Back to St. Louis. Shot it. Looking for a deflection in front. Stepan from the half wall. Fiddler going over to challenge him. He worked it off to Boyle, who shoves it along towards St. Louis. Had to come back to the puck. To Nash. Centered it. Goligoski blocked it. Lettinen did the rest. And Alex clears.
Boy, they had him pretty passive. Nash just had words with Kari Lettinen and then the referee on his way back to the bench, and he looked a little wincing or went back there rather gingerly.
McDonough ahead to Zuccarello. They hit a cutting angle shot. Score! J.T. Miller came bursting out of nowhere and buries it on the attack. It's 1-0 Rangers.
That is the old Dallas Stars entry. Executed to perfection. Miller was a healthy scratch in their last game. He's been smoking hot in the goal-scoring department. 5 in the last 11 games. What a beautiful pass by Zuccarello. Right through the middle. Had the Stars split wide. Kari Lettinen got a piece of it, but not enough. It seemed to stun him. Got himself set and beat him right by the shoulder blade. So an iffy penalty is a costly penalty, and the Rangers, who like to protect leads and are very good when they score first, do just that.
21-year-old East Palestine, Ohio native. Very small town, scores. It's his 5th. Seguin is in, but offside at the line.
And now, fans, please welcome your Dallas
The aforementioned Miller has the Rangers up 1-0 early in Dallas.
And the Dallas Stars would like to keep Rick Nash bridled in the game here tonight. Lettinen just about gelded him on that last. Watch this. Ooh, little tickler. No protection there. And Nash didn't like it. Came by. Some words for Lettinen. Some words for the referee. How do you pick that one up, though?
Yeah.
Just letting them know if you're going to stand in front of me, it might be painful.
A little trouble. Rangers launch one in. Dies in the corner. Jordy Ben. Jason Demers. And who was incarcerated for that Rangers power play goal. Boyle cut it off. We'll start the attack. Stempniak knifed it out of the air. Pretty good jolt from Jordy Ben. Out comes Hemsky. Out of Cole at the line. Cole surrenders the puck. And the Rangers strike back. It's Hayes. Hook chipped away by Jokipaka. Cole works it around in his own zone. Stahl, the defenseman, all the way around the boards. Here's Boyle. Snapping it into the corner. Jokipaka arrived. So did Hayes and Stempniak. And now it's Jokipaka tossing it out of the zone. Dallas has worked at over 500. They're 15, 14, and 5. 35 points, 8 points from the second wild card. Got themselves sort of back into the conversation. Gotta keep it rolling, and here at home especially. There's Jamie Benn. Up the wall past McDonough, and whistle stops play in front of the Dallas bench.
The Rangers have been quick to contest the Stars all over the ice in this one. I think for Alain Vigneault, his team seems to be doing the same thing that they did last season when they found their stride in December. Last year they were kind of purging the Tortorella era of how they were playing and learning his way of things. This year it's been more about injuries and sickness. They've been one of the teams that's been mumped.
Yep. They finally got everybody healthy. Some options for Alain Vigneault.
Stars cannot turn the puck over at the rate they have here so far in the first period tonight.
Girardi shooting at Lettinen, arriving for the puck.
Yeah, they had a number of guys. What, Stempniak, Brassard was out. Their heavy hitter Tanner Glass was out with the mumps. So they all have their individual bottles. They're all numbered for the Rangers. We saw this before. I mean, it seems like every team you play has been dealing with the mumps. Although they throw all the water bottles in the mix together, I don't know that that's sanitary. What a plague it's been this year. It's unreal.
And it's not like this is the first year that they've been sharing water bottles. You know, it's hard to explain. Goligoski brings it out. Good bank pass to Garbutt, leaning in for a backhander. Stahl using his reach to get there.
And he's got a lot of it. You know, they got their big three on defense. Girardi, Stahl, their fantastic captain, Ryan McDonough. Come back, you know he wants to cut to the net, lead with the stick, and instead, Henrik doesn't have to deal with a shot. A little bump from Garbutt on his way by. They can skate with anybody, the Rangers, and the Stars, one of their best assets is their team speed, so it's a pretty good match here tonight.
This was going to be two, but Dominic Moore has pitched. He's their best center iceman.
He's about the only guy that can win draws for them. They're not a very good face-off team.
Miller puts this to the corner. Morkov shielded from the puck. Fiddler in pursuit. Goligoski shot it. Tried to go short side. And then Fiddler jammed it through. Klingberg from the right point. Whipped it toward the slot. Travis Moen diving. Tried to keep the Rangers away. And then it's chunked in deep. And a whistle.
Maybe a penalty. I think, or was it just the early substitution?
Yeah.
On the, I think they cheated the change a little bit, heading up with the icing, and the Stars now get this advantage with the top line out here.
Seguin, Benn, and Sevier. Ben gave it to Demers, but in close quarters, and then Demers is hacked to the ice, and a penalty coming up here on Tanner Glass.
That was pretty obvious. That one had a little more enthusiasm on it as he chopped him down. The last time Tanner Glass was in this building, he was with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Remember, he had like double-digit hits in the game. The Stars played great. They shut out the Penguins 3-0. And he hit anything in Victory Green. Not going to hit anything for a while. And the Stars with an opportunity to answer that Miller power play goal.
First power play of the game for Dallas. They were 2 for 5 in their win in St. Louis on Saturday night. Then going after the puck, Cody Eakin getting there with McDonough. McDonough went down awkwardly. Dominic Moore sends it forward. Watch out for the Rangers. Hagelin taking the line, pitched it toward Dominic Moore.
We only really have to worry about one guy. Rick Nash. 3 shorthanded goals.
Daly with the lead. Spezza takes the line, curls it out to Ben. On top to Daly, shoots it. No rebound off Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, the screens or the tips hadn't quite set up in front. Right idea. I think the Stars need to be more of a shooting power play anyway. Come up the ice, the little drop gets everybody stopped for the Rangers across their blue line. Easier to navigate your way into the attacking zone, and then bang. Guys were in a line, but they weren't too eager to get in the eyes and visually inconvenience King Henrik.
Stars come up with the puck. Here's Klingberg working it, shooting it. Right back to him. A drive. He scores! John Klingberg. He's got to like that one, and it's 1-1.
Well, the broken play, how many times do you see? The Stars are on quite a run with these. Original shot to the net gets blocked. By the time it got back onto the stick blade of Klingberg, there was tons of traffic between. Look at it. Look at what Henrik Lundqvist had to try to look through. A myriad of bodies and legs. Looks up, there's 1, 2, 3 guys. And not a hard shot, but an accurate shot, about a foot off the ice, just inside the pipe, low on the blocker side. We have a tie game.
22-year-old Swede beats the 32-year-old Swede, Henrik Lundqvist, and it's a tie game at 1. Klingberg's 4th goal of the season. Passed it up off Ben. Turned his stick over Sagan. Racing in there with John Moore. Ben cut it off. Sevier poked it to the corner. It's flushed past him, and St. Louis tries to hit Kreider. Klingberg back to clean it up. Pass to Goligoski, got through him. And the Stars reorganized back of their net with St. Louis pressuring. Sagan dropped it off. Here comes Klingberg again. Pass ahead to center. Flips to the near boards. Girardi banged it forward. Hayes is looking for it. Lettman sets it up for Jokipaka. Spezza lifting it high. Cole rumbling after the puck. They'll stop along the boards and then pivot away with it. Bet it towards Spezza, and it's cranked out to center. Drifting into the Dallas zone. Daly gets there ahead of Stempniak. Tried to go across the middle. Hayes intercepts. Lettinen shoves it off to Spezza. And Cole tips it out.
See, it's plays like that. They always talk about how they want to play the way they do on the road at home, but they don't do that very often on the road, where they just, pump it into the middle of the ice and allow the opposition to pick it off and go the other direction. They go up the boards more.
Daly, Brassard interrupted. Stempniak centers, and Nash's shot denied by Kari Lettinen. Keeping the game locked up at 1 after young John Klingberg finds the net on the Dallas power play.
Well, there will be no shutout for either team here tonight, midway through the opening period, 1-1. Henrik Lundqvist is 1 shutout off the league lead with 5, and he's combined with his backup Talbot for 8, our Ford leaderboard. Yeah, that leads the NHL. 8 shutouts in their first 34 games, so they've made a habit of it.
1 and 4. Lettinen has 2 for the Stars. Boyle being pursued, pressured. Antoine Roussel vigorously after Stahl. Zuccarello lost the puck. Goligoski having trouble with Nash, fighting back with him and forcing an offside at the Dallas line.
Well, this could be a nightmarish type of game for defensemen on both sides, because both teams, you can see them try to create races up ice. And if defensemen get caught like the Stars did, I know it was It was a special team situation on the Miller goal. Pretty good one-on-one work by Alex Goligoski on Nash. He couldn't get all the way through him, but you see a lot of these pucks being sent up the ice and just create man-on-man foot races to a loose puck.
Face up outside the line. Now McDonough shooting it in. Jordy Benn arriving first. Miller's there at goal scorer, but he got the puck away from him. Miller from Zuccarello and McDonough. For Dallas, it was Klingberg to give an assist to Cole. Fiddler scampering. Glass had him lined up. Demers moved it along, and Moen gets it out. Miller again to Klein. At the middle of the ice. Moen overskates the puck, and Miller will install for the New York change. Jordy Benn will leave it. Jason Demers. 2 goals this season, both on the power play, both game winners, including the one Saturday night in St. Louis. Ryan McDonough. The middle for St. Louis. Girardi. Shot it over. Jokipaka. Back out. Kreider trying to carry it in. And along the boards, Benn gloves it down. Girardi shoves him to keep the puck in the zone. Step and put it into the corner. Daly back of his net. Uses legs to get out of a jam. And here's a race for the puck. Sevier in the corner, tosses it to Seguin to Benn, and he missed the net.
You know, it's a simple play out of their own zone, but it, again, creates one of those races, and they get it just about.
Kreider left it for St. Louis.
I think St. Louis thought that was offside. They weren't going to blow it.
Stepan overskates the puck in the corner. Jokipaka comes away with it, passes to Trevor Daly. Short feed to Spezza, but it hops away from him. Boyle curling back into his own zone. And then fed it ahead to Hayes, who was going to get dusted by Eric Cole. He missed a lot of that hit.
He got quite a bit, too, though.
Yeah. Got just enough.
You tell Hayes he didn't get much of him.
Hagelin. And he was secured his route and almost turning over the puck. Goligoski gloves it down. Hayes lurking. Spezza hands it over. Klingberg up ahead. Hemsky lurching forward. It comes in on Lundqvist with Cole in the vicinity. He'll take the whistle.
Well, Jamie Benn's had a couple of looks here. Not much in the way of testers on Lundqvist. There's a little chip off the boards. Sevier outlegs from his guys. Nice puck support by Seguin. That's the thing I love about Tyler Seguin. Before he gets the puck, he knows what he wants to do with it. And he gets it to Benn on a drive-by, and he just shanks it wide. Couldn't get enough on it. Looked like he had Lundqvist in a tough spot.
Seguin points at 7 of his last 9 games, points at 3 of his last 4. Tie up in the Rangers zone off the face-off, and it drifted in front. McDonough there to shield Eakin from the puck. He'll take it forward. Got away from Garbutt, gave it to Broussard, and then the centering pass worked back toward Broussard. Eakin trying to get position on him in the corner. Ripped it up. Roussel took the hit from Klein to get it out. John Moore back. Garbutt pestering him. Moore gets away. Lugs it to center to the Dallas line. Roussel took a swat and missed it. Nash firing. Letton coming over made the stop.
Well, that's 2 rushes in a row up the ice with their defenseman muling the puck. McDonough the last time, this time Moore. And they get a wicked chance off the stick of their leading goal scorer. He just worked his way through everybody. That was not very good defending by the Stars, who got really stick-checky on this one. Gets through, set the table, and bang, and an early jump from Kari Lehtinen to get across and take it in the tummy.
The face-off in the Dallas zone, Travis Moen. Fighting through a stick check, worked it ahead. Fiddler springing after the puck. Fiddler and Girardi stick checked it away. Centering feed, Horcoff missed the net. Horcoff from the wing. Points have been coming lately for Sean Horcoff. Now Fiddler. Horcoff along the boards, tapped it back out to Jordy Benn, shooting it, that's blocked. Fiddler resetting, and he misses the puck. Stahl laid it over. Step into the Dallas line. Nudged it forward to Kreider, all the way around behind. Curling out, looking for McDonough. Explodes off his stick, and Benn will chase him back. Kreider quick up to Boyle. Into the Dallas zone. To leave it, and left it he did, and out of the zone.
Yeah, miscue. He thought Stepan was going to stay right behind him. Instead, he went to the middle. Stars get a free out.
That's 7-5 New York. A little more than 5 minutes left in the first period.
They really look like they've measured one another here in the first period. At times it's been this, patient, try to work through neutral ice, and at times it's been just go.
There's Boyle.
Their D are really lugging the mail.
Dominic Moore back of the net. Tried the wrap around. It went through to the boards. John Moore back of the goal. Jyrki Jokipaka. The sidestep Dominic Moore gave it to Seguin. Here he comes. Seguin chased, worked it on to Sevier. Sevier tried to go across the ice, and it deflects to center.
Or did they hustle to get back on Seguin? Not too many guys that can stay stride for stride, and Miller was right on his back.
Some Miller's speed on that power play goal. Klingberg with a pass to Hemsky. He ran into Klein at the line. Rangers try and counter, but a diving Hayes can't control the puck. It's icing against New York.
Well, they've been getting good mileage out of really all four lines in recent games, the Stars have, and especially out of their fourth unit. Chance just a moment ago. It was a good play by Girardi. He was like a cobra initially on Fiddler. Comes right in front of the net, though, and they missed by a whisker. He's telling everybody how close he came. He makes the most of the time on ice he's getting on the left wing on the fourth line.
Jordy Ben got that through, and Lundqvist picked it up. Demers finds Hemsky. Hemsky lost the puck. Demers holding it in. Deep to Hemsky again, back of the net. Curled it in front. They score! Hemsky! You don't see a lot of them going like that. It's 2-1 Dallas.
Well, the Stars are getting a lot of these lately. They had two unearned goals to open things up in St. Louis the other night. This one goes off Stahl, the defenseman, as he comes back to the pipe. Hemsky just rifles a no-look backhand toward the front of the net. Rolls up the... Well, this will be a good angle. Whether it got Stahl or went, off the shaft of his stick, and then right in the little crook on the short side on Lundqvist. Friendly fire.
Ales Hemsky's third goal of the season. Stars lead at 2-1. Letman worked it around to Goligoski. Pressured up the wall. Girardi shoving Roussel. Eakin there to help him out. Stars have the puck, and Eakin whipped it rink wide and out. McDonough from inside his own line. Hemsky now 3 goals and 10 points in his last 17 games. A very slow start. It's a little more on his career pace. And with both teams changing, Hagelin in for a peek. Goligoski looks over his options. Up ahead off Seguin, who wasn't quite ready for the puck. Hayes tapped it off to Stempniak. Moving in, backhand shot, caught the glass. Dan Boyle whipped it over. Stahl, score! Hayes might have tipped it, but he's pointing back at Stahl, and just like that, the Rangers have tied the game.
Quite an answer. Didn't take long. Shades of the other night in St. Louis. And Stahl took his time to get this shot off. It was sailing wide, just a deft deflection by Hayes, about 5 feet out from Kari Lehtonen. Lehtonen had to try to look past him. I mean, there's not much you can defend on that unless you just guess the right way or a defender gets his stick. Interesting guy, Kevin Hayes. His brother plays for the Panthers. He was the Hawks' first-round draft pick back in 2010. They didn't sign him. Played his college hockey at one point with Kreider on this team, and they get a depth goal to answer the tally from behind the net from Hemsky.
Nice little deflection. And Stahl, who knocked in the Hemsky goal, sets up the Hayes goal. And we're tied at 2. Goals coming 60 seconds apart. That one dropped in on Lundqvist from center. He made the stop. And McDonough will settle things down. Not so much for the low-scoring goalie duel. 2-2. Late in the first. Markov wheels. Got most of it in. Back inside the Dallas line to Jordy Ben. Jason Spezza driving it deep. Hemsky from his spot. To throw it out front again. Girardi's on his back. Zuccarello with the puck. Out toward Nash at center. Jordy Ben claims it. He'll send it off Spezza and in. Girardi passing off. Brassard overtaken. Cole firing it right back over for the Dallas change. Shots 8-8 with 2 minutes to play in the first period.
Yeah, one of every 4 shots has gone in. Been one of those periods.
Goligoski, good pass to Garbutt. And lost the puck at the New York line, sending us to break. Well, it was a 1-1 game. Now it's a 2-2 game. As Ales Hemsky scores for the Stars and Kevin Hayes finds the net for the Rangers late in the first. 8 hours from now, New Year's Eve. Biggest party in Dallas is at American Airlines Center. Party starts at 7 when the Stars take on the Arizona Coyotes. Stick around for free concerts. DFW's largest fireworks show at Big D NYE. Your tickets at 214-GO-STARS at DallasStars.com.
Sounds like the weather's going to hold off until New Year's Day, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a shaker in downtown Big D that night.
Hanner Glass, center ice. Bailey plucked it forward. Boyle, and they're offside. Dominic Moore was ahead of it.
I think it's awfully nice that Dan Boyle took number 22 when he went into the Ranger fold as a free agent. Brian Boyle, former Ranger, now down in Tampa Bay, wore number 22. So, you know, understandably, Boyle looks around MSG and he's like, boy, I'm very popular around here. Very popular. A lot of people with Boyle jerseys already.
Yeah, it's easier on the equipment managers.
He's had a rough start with them because of injury more than anything else.
San Luis. Moen had him locked up at center. Orkov pitched it to Fiddler. Fending off Stepan. Bailey cranked it out. Moen relayed it over, and McDonough full control of the puck to Girardi. Stepan back to McDonough. Push it ahead. Shot it. And Daly blocked it, but into the corner it went. Kreider bursting over after the puck. Daly giving chase. Fiddler up the wall. Kreider keeping it in. Daly locking him up. And that pass, no chance for McDonough to make the catch.
I was going to say, that's one of the tougher passes you're ever going to get back to the point position. Waist high from 10 feet and 100 miles an hour.
Icing called against the New York Rangers. We got Shane Heyer and Jay Scherers here again tonight.
So advantage Stars here against a team that doesn't win a ton of draws, and they can't change. Stars are going to switch it around and bring Eakin's line here. Cody Eakin continues to take a lot of draws for the Stars. The percentage not as good as it was last year, but only Spezza's taken more face-offs than him. This would be a big win if he can draw this one back.
Hot hand tonight. He's 5 of 6.
And they know that on the bench.
He wins this one. Klingberg to Goligoski. People in front. Goligoski getting away from Zuccarello for a shot that's in Henrik Lundqvist's left arm.
Patient work by the goalie Lundqvist to, you know, peer around the screen that was setting up in front of him, and then obviously give up no rebounds so they can get their change in. Look short side, then peer around the other side on his toes, and that's an ender. And that pulls Eakin's line off, and they get their matchups going again. He's quite a tender. He's been miraculous against the Stars in his career. Not very many games against them, but not very many goals against him in those games.
Tonight's a bounty if you're the Dallas Stars. Get 2 on him in the first period. This one hopped in on Lettinen, and he plays the puck away from Stepniak to Spezza.
Didn't want to face off in his own end. Final minute.
Here comes Spezza. Across the line, shot it around. Hemsky. Goligoski trying to hold it in. Stepniak had Goligoski stick tied up. Hemsky right back across with 10 seconds remaining in the period. They're offside.
You want to give the puck up. He can be maddening, I would think, at times for mates when he won't give it up and hang on to it. He can dangle at times in free ice. One of the 2 goals for the Stars here in the opening frame. And some frantic line changes here in the final 40 seconds. Usually a shift in the NHL is about 40 seconds long. This is our 3rd grouping in the final 40 seconds.
5 to play in the period. Klein shot it in off glass. Demers will eat it. Fiddler doesn't go quietly. This draws a crowd here in the corner.
The D-men come flying in this time because there's no worry about where the face-off's going to be. Fiddler and Moore were the two that seemed most active in that group initially. Good period of hockey. Some pretty goals at both ends. Both teams playing fast. Turns into a 40-minute deal. Some shots, obviously something happened earlier than that. They sent visual daggers at one another, and then a mob, an entourage in the corner.
So the Dallas Stars open a 3-game homestand tonight as the New York Rangers make a rare visit at American Airlines Center. Billed as a goaltenders duel, we've seen 4 in the first 20 minutes, 2 aside. Klingberg and Hemsky, Miller and Hayes, and we're tied after 20 minutes at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Set for period 2 here in Dallas. The Stars and the Rangers are tied at 2. And Razor, there's always these little moments and battles within the game that are kind of fun to keep track of.
Well, that's true. Rick Nash and Kari Lehtinen, the shooter and the goaltender, they went 1-2 in the entry draft back in 2002. And they went at one another in the first period. Kari got the better of them in a lot of different ways. Nash with a couple of shots on goal, one really good look. Kari with one nifty stealth spear. And then you take you back to last year when the Rangers were here. And one thing Kari Lehtinen has been absolutely brilliant at in his career. Nash broke in, lost it, no scoring chance, foul from behind, go to center ice emphatically. And he walked. Kari spit it back at him. He did get a little measure of revenge in the game. Stars ended up losing it 3-2, although they outshot the Rangers by a healthy margin, 43-27. We'll see where that matchup goes here in the next couple of periods, because there's obviously something going on within the game between the two of them.
Nash had 2 first-period shots against Kari Lehtinen. 8 of the Rangers' 9 first-period shots were from forwards. Exactly opposite for the Stars. 8 of their first 9 from defensemen. Shot coming in here from the Rangers defenseman McDonough, and Lehtinen stayed with it.
The fight to get find that one. Mick Kreider was cruising in front of the net. Has that one on the belly. Gets interior position. He's a big man. That's tough for, Alex Goligoski is a terrific positional defender, but when he has to grapple, especially with a big forward like that, he's probably not going to win the battle. Lehtinen was able to look past him and hang on to it.
Played a stout 24.5 minutes in St. Louis Saturday after the 3-day holiday break. Rangers win it. Nash's shot foiled, tipped by Garbutt out of play.
He tried to get that away quick, too. Garbutt hustled to get out in that shooting lane immediately. That's why teams put both their forwards to the inside and a defenseman on the board so they can break to the top of the circle. One of them can be unmolested and they can get out on that.
Eakin and Klingberg trying to keep Brassard away. Klingberg hooked at. Puck stays in the zone. Zuccarello hands it to Nash. Shot it, blocked by Goligoski. Out comes Roussel, sprinting ahead to center, and Nash caught him from behind.
Boy, did he ever.
Goligoski did a full pirouette, shoots the puck in. Garbutt along the boards against McDonough. Eakin turned one way, the puck went the other. Tried to work it along toward Roussel. And spins away from Girardi. Eakin feeds it across to Garbutt. He hit the side of the net. Roussel scores! To Dallas.
Boy, this was pretty iffy defending by the top pair on defense for the Rangers, and great patience once the Stars gather this puck back in. Good hunt of it. Eakin just waits. The seam opens up. Garbutt goes there. It's a juicy rebound off the end boards. I mean, this is pudgy. So the new boards pay off for the Stars. Ricochets right to Roussel on his backhand. He points at his mates as they have gone ahead of the Rangers early here in the second.
Roussel's first goal in 5 games. It's his 8th of the season from line mates Garbutt and Eakin. Stars lead at 3-2. Rangers looking to counter. Stahl probing for it. Trevor Daly hits the brakes. Backhands it forward to Hemsky in the Dallas zone. Long pass ahead to Cole. Boyle keeping him away, trying to thread one through to Spezza, but the Stars are offside. You could not hear the whistle.
Well, Antoine Roussel has been a goal scorer again this season. He's got twice as many penalty minutes as any other Dallas Star, so that's his number one area with the group. Fights his way away. You know, both Girardi and McDonough just got beat on both sides. Lundqvist was completely fooled by the bounce off the end boards.
Hagelin chips it in. Jordy Benn back to claim it. Demers gets there ahead of Stempniak toward Jamie Benn. Hagelin cut it off. Benn tapping it back to his elder brother. Jordy to Demers. To center off Sevier and in. Seguin trying to fight through Hayes. Benn tapped it back out toward Demers. Hagelin spilled and then Benn grazed him. Sevier had Seguin standing in front of the net. Couldn't get him the puck. Now he centers it. Hagelin picks it off. And up come the Rangers. McDonough to the Dallas line. Demers had them all lined up. He backed away from the hit. Jamie Benn deep. Up towards Sevier. And then that bursted off Fiddler's blade and decline. Hayes backhanding it in. The Rangers finish their change. That's 10-10. 2.5 minutes just about into the second period. First game of a 3-game homestand for the Dallas Stars. Won 5 of their last 6 games, 6 of their last 8. It's the Rangers team that's won 8 straight. There goes Demers back after the puck. Miller, who had a first period goal, chases him around and passed it off. Fiddler, it bounces ahead to Horkoff along the boards. He shot it. Lundqvist kicks it away. Glass banging it out. Klingberg putting it up the middle. And Klein hammering it back in off Letton's pad. Miller threw it in front. Got it back. Shot it. Tip. Save. Letton. Glass was right there.
Split save and a beauty.
And we continue on.
Some ires sent toward Dominic Moore again. This time it was Goligoski that was after him. Big rebound off the initial shot in, and then once Letton gets up, he never really regained his positioning in there from his knees. He looks past Glass, knows it's going the other way, no deflection, and an artful glove grab by the Big Finn. There's the shoving in behind, and out of that, coincidental minors to the two, and Moore didn't like it. Hagelin got clipped earlier up ice. Got a nasty gash across the forehead. Looked like they had both guys up on the board for a second, and now
They did. They were both in their penalty boxes, and then the referee came over and got them out.
they felt guilty. They're just trying to help you guys out down there, and they got a reprieve. Big line with an offensive face-off for the Rangers here.
Kari Letton's right. Eakin and Brassard off the tie-up. Klingberg emerges with the puck. Passing across Roussel with the catch with the skate. Into the zone. Garbutt heads to the front of the net. Roussel shooting. It doesn't get through. And Lundqvist got tied up in front.
Did Garbutt ever bull rush Boyle all the way to the net, though?
Brassard's pass tipped away by Goligoski. Looking for Nash.
That was nicely handled by Letton to get out of trouble.
Hemsky has it poke checked away. Eakin digging back against Brassard. Hemsky shooting it toward Roussel, who's going after the puck. Boyle beat him to it. Pass to Zuccarello at center. On to Nash. Couldn't get away from Klingberg. Brassard tapped it back at the Dallas goal. Cole has position on Zuccarello. Klingberg up with the puck. Lifted out on his backhand. Klein kept it in. Cole clears it.
If you're going to do that, make sure it gets all the way out. I mean, way out, not just out over the blue line. Come right back at you again.
Stepan chasing Daly back of his net. The pass away, and Spezza on the board. Sevier picking it up onside. Sevier backhand shot. Save Lundqvist. Rebound off Lundqvist again. Cole Pargy along the boards against Klein. Pole overtaken by Stepan. Sevier holding it in the zone. Spezza looking to pick John Moore's pocket. Pass ahead, Sevier all over it again. Tried to pass it to Ben. And San Luis. Stars bench thought he closed his hand on the puck. Jokipaka up, but it's cut off by Kreider. Into the slot, Stepan back to Kreider. Shooting, save Lettinen. Now back of the net, Kreider comes up with it again. Out to the line for Girardi, a shot. Tipped wide of the net. McDonough from the corner. Sevier engages him, centering feed for Stepan. Goes to Kreider, he's got a look. He waits, he holds it, he shoots. Save Lettinen, it's trailing in front. The Stars clear it away. Sagan was lurking, but the Rangers get it ahead.
Pretty active shift. Jokipaka just saved a goal.
Hagelin swept it in on the backhand. Demers chopped it down, worked it out to Moen. Here come the Stars. Lively crowd here tonight. Sellout at the American Airlines Center. Fiddler goes ramming into the corner against Klein. Moen occupying at least one Ranger. Now finds the puck along the boards. Fiddler shoved by John Moore. Comes away with it. Leaves it deep again. Hayes hit by Horcoff. Good hard work, and then Hayes with a full pirouette turned it over to Fiddler at the line. This line grinding away for Dallas. Collisions at center ice. John Moore following up. A lot to see. Jordy Ben back of the net. Stempniak seals out his exit point. Demers with a long pass ahead to Roussel at the New York line. Stops, protects the puck. Looks to Eakin, and that's deflected wide of the net. Garbett went rolling through in front. Eakin shoves it back to the goal. Lundqvist leaves for Stahl. Eakin coming in a hurry. And Boyle looking up ice with Dominic Moore. Took it across the Dallas line. Goligoski checked it away. Roussel unable to clear. Back of the Dallas net. Goligoski and Moore again. Klingberg knifing his way through, fighting through sticks. Stars unable to get it out. Glass in there for a big hit. And Stahl will put it right back over. Klingberg up ahead. No icing. Stars will get their change here. Rangers looking to do likewise. Very active few minutes here in the middle frame. Girardi to Nash, and this one's sailing up 21 rows into the lower bowl. Earlier, it was Antoine Roussel jumping on a puck, picking up his 8th for a 3-2 Dallas lead.
Good action, as they say, here at American Airlines Center tonight. A couple of divine plays by rookie defenseman Klingberg and Jokipaka. Just that subtle little lift of the stick on San Luis. Ends up springing Colton Sevier at the other end, and he tests Lundqvist twice. First one, rather nice pad save. Second one, he gets over to great patience by Kreider to wait. Jokipaka, though, just steps in behind Kari Lettinen, who was down, committed, and he backs him up.
Be one of the top 5 saves of the week. Goligoski shot that in, and that hit Girardi and rocketed back out to center. Trying to skate that one off. Goligoski this time took a little off it. Eakin all over McDonough. Girardi takes Roussel's hit. Zuccarello turns it over and out to Nash. Moving down the boards, Broussard, Goligoski, Klingberg there to take it away. Ran into Zuccarello, but worked it off to Roussel. Didn't get it out. McDonough's shot blocked, and Goligoski fought it off to the boards. Girardi hustling down after it. Goligoski takes the hit from Zuccarello, but got it to the New York line.
It's been a pretty hard match here in the second period with Cody Eakin and those two straight up against Nash and their top line.
Cole artfully with the glove, and then bullishly over, but Hemsky pulled in ahead of it offside.
Well, the home issues seem to be getting fixed a little bit here. They can score here. We documented that off the hop tonight. They have 3 already, and we're not midway through the game against a Ranger team that has been extra stingy lately. That 1-5-4 start, though, is haunting them. Will they get on a severe run here on home ice and erase it?
Out of Stahl's reach. Jordie Benn in there against St. Louis. Boyle, rocket back of the net. Eakin wins the puck battle. Demers to Jordie Benn. Shooting it. Pad stop. Lundqvist. Boyle to the line. Right to Demers. Firing it around again. Lundqvist active back of his net to handle the puck. On the backhand, St. Louis tied up. Jordie Benn and Cole couldn't quite hold it at the line. Now he protects it. And Jordie Benn will shoot it in.
This is the best I think the Stars have used their pace to forecheck and force issues on teams. Maybe since opening night here against the Chicago Blackhawks. They have been quick and in the face.
Sevier tried to move that puck up. Hagelin sends Daly back after it. Around the boards, he missed Jamie Benn. Icing coming against Dallas. Tonight on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1, it's Black Monday in the NFL. Holy cow, 4 coaches are gone. Are more on the way. Our insider has what you need to know. The regular season is done. So who's the MVP? Randy Moss and Donovan McNabb will tell you who they choose and more. Plus, highlights from across the NHL, NBA, and college basketball.
Alain Vigneault comes right back with the top line here off that icing.
So he's able to win the faceoff. Sevier plunked it past McDonough. Girardi shot it into the Dallas bench.
Ouch. Right off the top of it. I don't think Alain Vigneault can be overly thrilled with the way things have unfolded as they've moved along here tonight. Good coach. You know, 2 guys on either bench here tonight that have been coach of the year in the NHL. And, you know, on the road, you rely on your defending and your goaltender. They spent a lot of time defending here, it feels like, in the second period. They've had cracks at the other end, but the zone time, I think, is the Stars' advantage.
Moen trying to keep it that way, jockeying with John Moore, and a penalty coming up against the Rangers.
You see this a lot off face-offs. Little pick plays, interference on glass.
New York, number 15, 2 minutes interference. And with that, New York,
This time it gets announced, so it actually is a penalty, as opposed to earlier. Nobody's been able to kill a penalty in the game tonight. There's the shove along the boards. And that draws the call.
There's got a first period power play goal from John Klingberg. Sagan racing over to find it along the boards. Eakin back of the net. Locked up by Girardi. Tried to bank it out. Hagelin intercepts, and Spezza holds it in. Whips it near side, but right to McDonough. He shoots a rolling puck all the way down. Letting it out to set it up. He'll use the window to knock it ahead. McDonough's there again. And Daly with a more deliberate approach. Rangers change their forward killers. Nash is out there. Spezza banked it forward. Look out. Here comes Nash. Short-handed. Wide.
Lost the puck at the last second. Boy, don't be doing that drop pass willy-nilly stuff with number 61 for the Rangers out here.
There goes Daly all the way in. Centered it. Shot. Save. Lundqvist on Jamie Benn.
He got a quick hop on that one. 2 world-class guys get opportunities during this Stars power play. Nash in solo after the miscue by the Stars. Goes to the backhand and wanted to go shelf. See what this puck does on the tail end. Comes across, just never got it. Might have got a piece of the toe. Nice patience again by Daly at the other end to outweight, find a lane, get it to Benn. Benn's goals are down. His assists and penalty minutes are up this season, but the goals are down.
Lundqvist stolen from him right there. Stepping in short-handed, and Hemsky. Nice little kick play with the skate. Klingberg will take it up. Skates turn sideways across the line. Pitched it in deep, going after it with Klein back of the net. Stahl threw it off Klingberg right to Zuccarello. He'll clear. 45 left in. Tanner Glass interference call. Midway through the game, Stars lead at 3-2. Klingberg to Hemsky. Both have scored in the game tonight for the Stars. Hemsky takes it over. He's tripped up. Fans wanted a call. They don't get it. Hagelin counterattacking into the Dallas zone with Dominic Moore. Hagelin shooting wide of the net. Right to Seguin. Here he comes. 20 left on the power play. Seguin blazing in, setting up, waiting for help. Gives it to Daly. He'll take it to the right side against Hagelin. Now all the way around behind to Spezza. Backhand shot. Save Lundqvist. And Seguin's pass too hot for Demers out to center. Demers cranks it in. Rangers get glass back. Ben knocked it down, and they say with a high stick.
Boy, that was close. Shane Heyer, the linesman from the other side, called it.
8.5 left in the second. 3-2 Dallas.
Well, Lindy Ruff, I'm sure, told his charges, hey, they're going to guard the middle of the rink, so let's try to work the outside and use our speed against the Rangers. They've done it multiple times in the game to their advantage. Use the boards. Boards are bouncy here. You can get some pretty true bounces off of it and have guys cutting with speed. It backs off the Rangers' defense. It forces these races to lose pucks. They've come close on some of those, and they've actually scored using the boards. A little different equation as they went behind the net. But it came rocketing off. And Roussel cashed in. The only goal of the middle frame here. Stars score a lot in second periods. It's interesting to look at how things have gone period by period. They've scored the second most goals in the NHL in second periods, but they've also allowed the fifth most. You're going to get a lot. First period, second period. It's pretty tight that way. Third period has not been their period, though.
Garbutt intercepts it and fights through a hook. Puck comes out to center ice. Klingberg passing off to Goligoski up the middle. Stahl taking over, hits Garbutt in the skate.
Boy, Alain Vigneault comes with his top line at every TV break. Any chance to have an offensive zone face off the route there?
And we've seen Eakin out there against him almost all night. Goligoski bounced that one off the boards and out. Stahl will work it up, shoot it in. Lettinen stops it back of the net.
Yeah, you got to give a little something up, and obviously it's a checking job for Eakin, Garbutt, and Roussel against them, but it does keep Seguin off the ice a little bit. I don't think he has a shot in the game right now.
Goligoski cranked that. It looked like it. I think it wound up in the Dallas bench eventually.
It did. I don't know how it got over there. It hit the top of the boards and then rode the top of the heads of the Rangers and then all the way down and just about clocked all three coaches for the Dallas Stars. Everybody survived it, it looks like. What's this one? Up, top of the boards. Look out, players all know where it is, but it's tough for coaches to see that.
Daly leaning on Kreider. There's St. Louis. Klein shooting it. He hit the post. The offense has been coming for Klein this season. He's got 7 goals.
All at even strength. Yeah. That was a bullet. Kari Lettinen never saw.
John Moore cut to the front, save Lettinen. Daly took him off his skates. Fiddler rescues the puck from behind the net. Out he comes to center. Stepping up. He'll hoist it in deep. Horkoff going in there with Kreider. Fiddler poking it out to the line for Jordy Ben. Shooting. It goes to Moen, who backhands it in on Lundqvist. Stabbed it away. Horkoff back of the net for Fiddler. Slip past him. St. Louis whisks it out on the backhand. Kreider to the Dallas line. Stick check, and Demers found it, shot it out. Dallas looking to change. Stahl shot it to the Dallas line, right to Demers. He's got Hemsky at the line, who waits now. Spezza drags it in. Spezza centered it behind Hemsky. Kreider goes out to center. Stempniak couldn't corral the puck. Demers to Jordy Ben. On to Spezza. He'll take the line. Spezza moving in. Spezza shooting. Lundqvist the stop. And out of play. Under 6 left in the second period. The Stars with the only goal in the frame. They lead Lundqvist and the Rangers 3-2 in Dallas.
A healthy gum-chewing Derek Holland down. And Henrik Lundqvist into the ring on the glass. At the other end, Kari Lehtinen trying to look past the traffic in front. Ends up just dropping down, completely screened on it, and you could hear it go off the short side pipe. Klein drilled it. Living right. That one off the pipe, saved by his defenseman Yoki Paka earlier in the period, and handled Nash on a breakaway shorthanded.
12 of 14 in the game for Lehtinen. Stars lead at 3-2. Jyrki Jokipaka to center ice. Spit forward to Spezza. Was unintentional. Dominic Moore kept it away from Alashemski. Girardi to McDonough. Popped off his stick. Cole arriving, hammering McDonough along the boards.
That hurt.
Yep. Trying to steady himself. Stars put it right back his way. And an icing call against Dallas. Register your child today for the Dallas Stars Kids Club presented by Dr. Pepper for only $10. 2 Stars tickets, a replica Jamie Benn autograph puck, membership card, jersey, lunch bag, and more. Sign up today at dallasstars.com/kidsclub.
I think Eric Cole's been the Stars' most physical forward of any of them this season, and consistently. They get trapped on an icing here, and here's Nash and company again with an attack zone face-off.
Spezza beats Brassard. Jokipaka back of the net to Cole, who
ripped that one right off the lane. Vigneault.
Wow.
It's just one-man destruction right now. Clobbers McDonough and rips one off their head coach. Nice execution, though, by Spezza, who's the Stars' best face-off guy percentage-wise. Needed to win one there and did just that. The game's turned into more of what I think both coaches anticipated here tonight in the second period. The chances, there have been a few, and they've been grade A, but the game slowed down a little bit, more focused on defending.
Jamie Benn wins the face-off. Goligoski stepped on the puck and went down. Kreider. They go back against Benn. St. Louis out to the line. John Moore shot it. Lehtinen finds it with the glove.
Working hard to find a shooting lane through there. They whip that between D-men to open things up a little bit, and it dies in the left hand of Kari Lehtinen. Shot blocking, you know, the St. Louis game for the Stars, and there were a ton of, they have 19 block shots in that one, a bit of an aberration maybe. The Rangers are the 3rd least shot blocking team in the league, if that's the proper way of saying it, and the Stars are 5th least in shots blocked. Very different Ranger team under Vigneault than it was under Tortorella. They lead the league in that.
Klingberg got this up. Stars do get it out. And Goligoski back to handle it for Dallas. Nash in, hoping for a miscue. Goligoski sends it forward. Roussel on to Garbett, and it's tipped in. And then Lundqvist had to dive to paddle it away from Eakin. Zuccarello has Nash breaking at the Dallas line. Nash can't get away from Goligoski. Puck goes back at the Dallas net. Zuccarello got tied up. Klingberg moving away with the puck and floats it out to center ice. Dan Boyle inside his own line. Goes for the big twirl. Stars change, and the pass ahead. Icing against Boyle.
Well, Nash and Goligoski have gotten together a few times throughout the game here. Nash trying to toe drag around him on this. Boy, that is nifty. Tough pass to most players, but not a world-class guy in his skates. And Goligoski doesn't get transfixed on the puck. Instead, just takes the man and keeps him at bay. He's looked dangerous throughout the game. Of the two, I think Nash has been more dangerous than Seguin.
Seguin passing over to Demers here off the face-off win. Benn back of the net. Tied up along the boards. Boyle taking over. Jordy Benn kicked it deep to Seguin out of the corner. Seguin immediately attacked by Stahl. Stahl comes away with the puck, ran into Sevier. Seguin to Benn, swung and missed. Out comes Hagelin. Demers turns to catch him. Hagelin shooting. Lehtinen made the stop.
You need Nitro to catch Hagelin when he's in full flight, man. Can he fly?
Demers seemed to know right away.
Yeah, he just turned around and tucked his head and started picking him up and putting him down.
No icing here, and Lundqvist able to move it past. There goes Hagelin. Shooting it. Save Lettman.
He had one option, and that was to shoot it, and Lettman knew it.
Horkoff taking the line. Firing. Tipped wide. Seguin goes to the bench to finish the change. Dominic Moore. Chased by Horkoff. Back of the net. McDonough has it there. Passing off toward Girardi. Stempniak pivots out and hits glass at the Dallas line. It's off the stick to Daly. Stars in full possession. Daly up ahead. Shot it in, and Moen knocks Dominic Moore to the ice. Pass up ahead to Stempniak. Moore into the zone from the boards. Worked it around. It's tipped over Miller by Jokipaka, and Cole gets it out. Moen going over there. Throwing a big hit on Stempniak in front of the Dallas bench. John Moore plays onside. All the way around to Hemsky. Cole digging to try and catch it. He'll pick it up deep. Then Klein takes Cole. Cole fighting back with Miller now. Cole. One-man gang in the New York zone against John Moore there to help out. Using the glass, Jordyben kept it in with the shoulder. Cole knocking into John Moore, and the puck comes back toward the Dallas line. Demers backing it up. Gave it to Spezza. Curling around, finds Hemsky, splitting the defense. Hemsky in. Hemsky has it poke checked away by Klein.
He's got to show a little more intensity right on the doorstep, but that is quite a defensive play by Klein. Wow. That is puck jacking of the highest order there. To not take a penalty and strip Hemsky, beautiful pass right through the middle of the ice. He's had two opportunities like that and doesn't have a shot on goal. He does have a goal in the game, and it came from behind the net. Crazy.
That's the way it goes. Seguin in there. Stepan wins the draw. Ben has Stahl wrapped up, centering feed from Sevier. Ben tried to kick it to his forehand, and Boyle comes away with the puck. On the flank for Stepan. Shot it, save Lettman. And he flops forward, gets the whistle.
Where Jokipaka got reaching on that one, and Stepan played him one-on-one to work it around him and rip that tester on Kari Lettman. Out of what looked like a promising sequence in the attacking zone, has it out. There goes the poke check, little delay, toe drag, and tries to go 5-hole on Lettman. Nothing there.
Face off to Kari's left. Stepan wins it. Girardi dusting it off. Shot it. Deflected over the top of the net. Jokipaka and McDonough scrap for the puck. Ben, short feed to Sevier. Trying to get away from San Luis at center. Jokipaka backing it up. Rink wide to Seguin. Out of Ben. Tried to go back to Seguin. Jokipaka kicked at it. Klingberg off the bench. Pass ahead. Jump by McDonough. In he comes. McDonough takes the line. Leaves for Kreider. Kreider a shot. He went short side. Missed the net. Girardi couldn't hold it in at the line. Seguin. He's going to take a penalty.
I don't think either referee was going to call that, but the Ranger bench exploded.
Dallas, 2 minutes for holding.
Holding. Let's have another peek. Loose play up the boards. It just gets out of the blue line. Girardi's just trying to protect it, and as soon as he got touched, he went down. So, a late second period power play advantage for the Rangers on some pretty chewed up ice. Seguin mystified by that one in the box. You don't see too many guys that just nod their head and they're like, yep, yeah, no question about it. Yeah, they got me.
Except for the two guys earlier who went in.
Yeah, wasn't even a penalty. We never had a chance to get our camera on them.
San Luis from the right point, second power play that deflects in, and Lettman grabs it with the glove.
He hasn't had the same dance in this one that you usually see. You forget, though, that Marty St. Louis is now approaching 40 years old. 10-time finalist for the Lady Byng. He's won it 3 times as the most gentlemanly player in the league.
And another one that has the benches covering, the guys on the benches covering their heads. Winds up all the way down.
They're going to ask for a tarp, I think, for the third period.
Fiddler there to impede Broussard. Final minute of the second period. Stars hoping to take their lead to the third. Boyle shooting it in. Lettman unable to cut it off. Daly with Nash breathing down his neck. Goligoski tried to whip it around. Dives in the pile. And St. Louis out to the line for Boyle. Stepan back to Boyle straight away. Pulls it down to St. Louis. One-timer missed the net. Half a minute left in the period. Stepan flips it over to Boyle. Tipped. Walked in front. Rangers reset. Stepan out to Boyle. Pulls it down. Gave it to Stepan. 15 left in the period. Brassard tried to work it over. Blocked. Shot from Boyle. Missed the net. Brassard following up. Lettman got a piece of it.
And that went right behind him.
Goligoski on the clear, and that'll give Dallas the lead at the break.
Well, the pace slowed down a little bit in the second period, but there were opportunities. Zuccarello and Fiddler at one another at center ice as there might be a scrap. Kreider and Demers. The Ranger power play came close. This one, off the initial shot, going back against the green. He almost knocked it in himself. It's a good thing he didn't get there earlier. Very reminiscent to the only goal that was scored in the second period. A big fat rebound off the end boards. That one went right under the armpit of Lettman and out the other side. He is living right tonight.
Dallas Stars open the 3-game homestand tonight against the New York Rangers. The Stars have won 5 of their last 6, 6 of their last 8. The Rangers, red hot, they've won 8 in a row. And after 40 minutes at American Airlines Center, Dallas leads New York 3-2. When we come back, John Klingberg scheduled to join Julie Dobbs at the break. Dallas Stars hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Ford. Hurry into the year-end event going on now at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Stars lead the Rangers 3-2 heading to the third period, Razor, but none of the 5 goals have been scored in the game by either of the league's top 2 goal scorers.
Yeah, Seguin and Nash. Sounds like an 80s buddy cop movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
2 best snipers in the league right now. They're going to start separate areas of the rink in the third period. Nash has had 5 attempts in the game toward net and has been the more dangerous looking player. Seguin just the 1 attempt and no shots on goal thus far. The thing that impresses me about the 2 of them this season, they haven't had their totals inflated by a ton of power play goals. The easier power play, the so-called easier power play goals. They're 1-2 in even strength goal scoring.
Stars start the third period shorthanded. Tyler Seguin is in the box for another 35 seconds. The end of the period, minors were handed out. Kreider for the Rangers, Demers for the Stars, roughing and holding respectively. The 20-minute mark does not affect the manpower advantage. Stars get Seguin back now in 20 seconds. They're stepping into the zone, shoots it around the boards. Nash picked it up. Daly took it away. Eakin trying to clear it, comes back to Nash, and Daly holding him up. Goes to Boyle at the line. Tip, save Lettman. The deflection by Brassard, and it's cleared. And that'll do it. Seguin is on. So each team 1 for 2 on the power play. Boyle comes striding into the Dallas zone, hands it off. Here's Hayes reaching for it, tried to center it. Jordie Benn hits the deck to block it. Seguin pitches it to Jamie Benn. And McDonough, he tried. He was outside the line. He grabbed it and tried to sneak it in.
Shane Heyer was spot on that one. Glove out. He's going to log out a lot. He already has in the game, but he's going to log a lot here in the third period, McDonough. What a trade that was. The Montreal Canadiens. Scott Gomez. The Habs needed a center, but they got a franchise player in New York. Slat should be very proud of that one.
Former first rounder. Klein rattles this one around the boards. Klingberg for the Stars. Couldn't get it up the wall. Jordie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Colton Sevier brushed it along. There goes Jamie Benn. Benn takes the line. Benn worked toward his brother and then picks it up and fires it. That's blocked. Benn is on the sheet. No shots in the game, but I know he had one. Lundqvist stole one from him in the second period.
That was pretty tough to ignore. But apparently you can.
There's an icing call against Dallas. And the raw data is subjective from building to building and night to night, but, you know.
Here's that chance. This is not a shot on goal. It hit him too directly in the belly button, I think.
We scored a goal in the third.
The Ranger bench looks thinner. Got word that Dan Girardi, one of their top two defensemen, is not on the bench.
Keep an eye on that. On the puck in the corner. Kari Lettman's left, four-man scrum. Jamie Benn waiting for it to come loose. Hayes protecting it. Klingberg had him tied up. Hayes emerging with the puck. Drops it down low to Zuccarello. Wandering away, pitching it out to John Moore at the line. And Sevier stole it. Jamie Benn chips it, and he's tripped up on his way to the puck. There's a penalty against the Rangers.
Well, Zuccarello ends up having to take this penalty, but more of the defenseman put him in a bad spot with his play just inside the blue line. He pinches in, gets caught. Zuccarello backing up, clips the skates. There, trails the leg. Ben goes down. Stars go on the power play here. An opportunity to do what they did in St. Louis the other night. That is score on the power play to give them a little breathing room.
Third power play of the night for Dallas. They are 1 for 2. Klingberg has the goal. He's waiting for the puck at the right point, but it gets knocked past him. Lettman steers that deftly to Goligoski. And here he comes. Second and D-men scoring behind Daly on the Stars. Hemsky in the corner. Shot it around the boards. A slow roller that's grabbed by Dominic Moore. Goligoski defends. And Klingberg opens up for the pass. Hinges it back. Goligoski will take the line. And then stop and set it up. Pitch it over to Cole. Across the ice, Klingberg down to Hemsky. Couldn't rattle it home. He's looking for that the first time. The puck came back to him and he shot it in. Klingberg passing to Horcoff. Cole's in front of the net. Goligoski snuck in. Klingberg, a shot. It goes right to Goligoski. And a diving play in front. And then it's punched out toward the line. Klingberg to Goligoski. Hemsky hooked it back to Goligoski. Now to Klingberg. Setting it up for Horcoff. Cole again in front of Lundqvist. Horcoff's pass knifed out of the zone.
Came close. That's what you want to do if you're the second power play unit and you get to start a power play. Stay in the zone.
No chance to change. Seguin lost the puck. Nash trying to escape. And Daly. Nash is chasing him. Nash is clever. And Daly trying to outleg him. Now Ben picks it up on the wing to Eakin. Stars are into the zone. He'll leave it for Seguin. Seguin shooting it. Saved Lundqvist. Eakin goes after the rebound, but McDonough grabs it and forces it out. Steppen shooting it. Lettman blocked it aside. 10 left on the Dallas power play. A couple of looks. Here comes Spezza. Power play is over. Zuccarello is on. Dallas 1 for 3 in the game. The Rangers are 1 for 2. Stars lead at 3-2 early in the third. Spezza along towards Fiddler. John Moore taking it back of his net. Fiddler harassing him with the stick. Brassard helps it out. Demers from center ice shoots it back over. Stars 10, 1, and 2 when leading after 2 periods this season. Roussel chipped it down the wall. He and Boyle jockey for the puck deep. Fiddler joining John Moore in the battle. Boyle trying to work it up the wall. Sneaking through out to center ice. Brassard toward Nash. Nash gathers the puck. Nash a backhander and a save. Kari Lettman.
That reach.
Man, out of nothing.
Disputations in the aftermath. Down at the other end on the power play early on, Alex Goligoski, number 33, gets a rebound come right to him. And Lundqvist stacking the pads old school. Gets it with the blocker. Keeps his eyes on it, stacks the blocker on top of the pads. You don't see that at all anymore in the NHL from goalies. They all play on their knees like that. And Kari Lehtinen squeezed down another rolling mid from Nash.
Stepan wins the draw. Girardi's back out there. He shot it. It hit San Luis. Sevier can't get it out. Stepan tried to go back across to San Luis, and the Stars pick it off and clear it.
Stars have really packed it in that slot area. It's been tough for the Rangers to get a lot of good, clean, free looks.
Girardi with a pass ahead. Stepan to San Luis at the line. Daly got there first. Backhands it out. McDonough to Girardi. Rangers try it again. Kreider sweeps it in and goes charging after Jordie Benn. Kept the puck away from him. Good pass to Seguin. Now on to Sevier. Unable to move it past Stepan. He opts to just backhand it deep. Stars will get a change. Lundqvist passed it off. Stepan carries it ahead. Speed play for San Luis at the line. Rangers would have been offside. Spezza moves it to Hemsky. Off the stick. Stahl having trouble with the puck. Jordie Benn gathering it in his own zone, passing to Jason Demers. Now to Spezza. Back to Jordie Benn. Dallas spreading it out. Rangers waiting for him at center. Cole tipped it over. Hemsky's going to get there first. Hemsky takes it back of the net. Stick went flying out of there. It's Boyles. Ranger defenseman. Spezza protecting it in the corner. Lost out to Stahl. He'll shove it ahead, and Hayes comes bursting up to Hagelin at the Dallas line. Down to Hayes in the corner. Shot it. Lehtinen moved it aside. Cole battling. Hagelin stole it. Whips it across the ice. John Morris. Shot. Kicked out by Lehtinen. Cole couldn't clear it past Klein. Hayes holding, shooting, and that's blocked by Goligoski to the corner. Rangers look a little dangerous here. Fiddler tied up with Hagelin. Hagelin moved it out right to Hemsky, who lofts it out of the zone. Quick up to Miller. Jokipaka back toward the line. Horcoff giving it to Daly. Up ahead to Fiddler. Down the wing, Horcoff barreling after it. Getting there ahead of Girardi, taking it back of the net. Horcoff kicked it out to Jokipaka. And he didn't hold it at the line. Under 13 minutes to play in the third period. We are as we were when the frame began. Stars 3, Rangers 2 at American Airlines Center in Dallas.
Well, that man, Alex Goligoski's had a real good game here tonight. He's played pretty much straight up against their top line, and especially Rick Nash, and has handled them. That's a good stat line on him in the game. Our AT&T U-verse Rewind take you through some of the punctuation marks of his defending in the game. Positional, active with his stick. He seems to be a little, just a smidge quicker on his wheels coming back after the 3 days off at Christmas. And he came close. Henrik Lundqvist with a clutch save to keep this within a shot. When Goligoski thought he had him beat, elevated it in tight on the power play here early in the third, and couldn't get it to go.
Brassard and Eakin outside the line. Rangers win it. Boyle from inside his own zone. Stahl got it to center. Zuccarello chips it in. Goligoski dodging Zuccarello. Klingberg caught the high glass. Brassard whipping it around. Goligoski up the boards. Garbutt trying to tip it out. Rangers hold the zone, but a hand pass called against the visitors, despite the protestations.
Yeah, Stahl saying it hit him in the chest and stayed in. That's been the matchup beyond Goligoski and his partner Klingberg, who's played well here again tonight. It's been that forward line against Zuccarello, Nash, and Brassard, and they've outscored him in the game 1-0. So, you know, if it continues to go down the path that it's on right now, that will be a key interior of the game situation in this one tonight.
Top line for Dallas looking to get a little bit of traction. Seguin, Benn, and Sevier. Up, it's kicked on to Seguin, trying to get it away from San Luis. Can't do it, and McDonough's there to clean it up with Girardi. Long pass. Kreider tipped it forward. Trying to secure it inside the Dallas line. Curling out. Just off McDonough. There goes Seguin. 3-on-2 as he hits the New York line. Seguin moving in right wing side. Seguin to Benn. A shot. Save Lundqvist. McDonough pushing it around. Sevier barreling in there. Hits Girardi. Demers pops it in deep, and the Stars finish their change.
Where you can see how quickly a bad pass in the attacking zone can turn into a nightmare in your own end there with teams that can really skate. McDonough, it's in behind him. He gets chasing, and the Stars get a pretty good look at Lundqvist.
Stempniak lobs it into the Dallas zone deep. Jordy Ben trying to fend off Hagelin. Stempniak scrapes it off the boards. Spezza over there to turn it out, but it's icing against Dallas. I think Cole's hustling to get in there, and he nullifies it. Beating Klein to the puck. It's a good hustle play. Hayes rushing the other way. Stempniak from the boards. Pad stop. Rebound kicked ahead to Cole, who's gassed. Hagelin shot it in off Klein. Under 11 minutes to play in the third. Centering feed here. Goligoski got back on Stempniak. Moen tips it out. Horcoff waiting for it. Slides it along to Fiddler, who's tripped, and a penalty coming up against the Rangers.
There's been a couple of those calls in the game where there's been a stick and then a player goes down and they get the call. There's that pass in behind as McDonough was drifting into the zone. Seguin surveying all the way. He was looking past pretty much all the way in. Found the seam, got it to Ben. Blocker save. Eric Cole hits the gas. Did he ever? Blew by Klein to leg out that icing and continue things on. And then it's the same speed up the ice that forces the foul from the Rangers, and the Stars back on the power play.
For the fourth time in the game, they scored on their first one, have not scored since, and they lead 3-2. Seguin down toward Eakin. McDonough scrapping with Eakin. Spezza across the Daly, a shot. Save Lundqvist, rebound Ben. He tapped it wide. Spezza setting it again, this time from the near wall. Got the return from Ben, goes to Seguin. Seguin shooting it. That's blocked. It comes to the near side again for Spezza. Spezza giving it to Ben. Now to Seguin across the Daly. A shot saved Lundqvist and no rebound.
Well, Trevor came out shooting on this one. We talked about him in the spotlight tonight. 5 power play goals on the season. Better look at the first one. I think he might have had his head buried. Gets it to the net. No problem really for Lundqvist, although he bobbled it a little bit. Yeah, Ben was a little late. I thought Ben could have got there earlier. Maybe he could have just laid it into him. Then McDonough came and that's the self-preservation shot block attempt that time.
He can help Spezza secure possession. Ben harassed by Stahl. Ben unable to keep it in, and now he's trying to keep the Rangers away. A lead pass to Hagelin. Hagelin backhander, save Lettinen. Seguin swept it ahead. Ben carries it forward against Klein. Bursts away from him. Ben. He was bounced. Daly comes up with the puck. Ben's back up. Ben holding it. Passing to Daly. Now to Seguin near side. Eakin in front of the net. He wanted the deflection, and Ben will hold it on the far boards. Feathered it over, and Daly has to chase it out to center ice. Seguin must wait for teammates to clear. Dominic Moore put him to the ice. 45 left on the minor to Brassard.
Boy, the Rangers penalty killing's keeping him in the game right now. Stars could have a healthy little 2-goal lead if they could cash in.
Klingberg shoots it in deep. Cole goes after the puck. Out to Demers. Now to Klingberg. Klingberg finds Demers. Over to Cole. Shot it, shanked it, and then it's pumped out of the zone. Pass ahead to Cole. He'll drag it over. Tried to go toward the net, and that's chipped away and out of the zone.
Eric's usually a way better option once they get set up, and he goes to the front of the net.
Klingberg finds him. Cole across. And a shot went off Horcoff's stick over the top of the net. Now Brassard is on, and in comes Nash with Brassard in tow. He shot it. He just missed the net. Bounces past Zuccarello to center.
This is the best I've seen Rick Nash play since his early days in Columbus with the Wild, with the Blue Jackets, when he was the Blue Jackets.
Centering pass for Boyle, and Lettinen makes the stop in front.
What a stunner. Boyle can't believe it. Best save of the night for Kari Lettinen.
Keeping Dallas up 3-2, but in comes Brassard again. Daly forcing him wide. He'll shoot it around the boards. Jokipaka tried to poke it up the wall. Roussel hounded. Plays it around, but Kreider has it there to the line for Stahl. Went up high with it. Garvin Make sure it gets out. Then follows up Fiddler. Throws it in and gets a good bump from Kreider after. That's 27-22 Rangers. 3-2 Stars with 7:40 to play in the third. Stahl takes the Dallas line with bodies going to the net. A shot letting in the stop. Rebounds loose. It's cleared.
I don't know what the Stars were doing defensively there other than just watching, though, because it was really easy for the Rangers to waft in and get that chance. Two good saves by that man. None better than on Boyle. The defenseman comes back door. There's a seam there. Look at this seam open up. Nice patience. Zing. More of the defenseman down deep. Lays it right to his partner. Brassard. Watch Brassard. Off the cuff of the glove. The cheater, they call it. He had a good view to see whether this glove was in the net. It wasn't. Not even close.
Timeout Dallas, a Stars timeout.
What a stop. What a stop. Superb. And Curry's looking at the mark on that one and watching the replay. Boyle shanked it a little bit back into the body on Lehtinen. Curry just took the bottom of the net away and waved at it with the left hand. You know, this type of clutch save, if you want, or the clutch save gene, if you will, has been there for Lehtinen on the road. He's won 8 of 11 away from home, but he's been void of it at times in home games. Spot on tonight. A little fortunate at times, but really good when it's mattered. And he keeps the Stars ahead by a shot.
Dallas took a timeout there off of the icing.
Well, they have a mishmash of a line out there right now with, you know, Garbett had been out there forever. Spezza just got out. Cole's out here, so talk it over. See if Spezza can win another draw.
Daniel can do what he wants. He keeps Stefan Kreider and San Luis out there. Broken stick off the face-off. Jordy Ben blocks it. It was Stefan stick. He went to the bench, got a new one, and now he chases Cole shoot-in. Lundqvist works it around the boards. Kreider popped by Jason Demers. Stefan short feed in front. And the Rangers tripped up. Stefan carries it across. It's Kreider. San Luis shot it. Demers blocks it to the wing for Hemsky. He clears. 7 minutes remaining in the third. Stars up 3-2 over the Rangers. The Oilers won 8 straight games. Ryan Garbett get a good bounce to Eakin. Eakin shoots it. Save Lundqvist. No rebound for Garbett. 6:45 remaining in the game. Kari Lehtinen keeping Dallas a shot ahead of the visiting New York Rangers at the American Airlines Center in Dallas.
Good day and Big D. Pretty heated hockey game here tonight, though, and the Stars lead it 3-2. Just under 7 minutes to go in regulation. I think Dallas has really played well. They played well with the lead here in the third period, outside of not cashing in on a couple of power play opportunities. It's been a 4-line game for Lindy Ruff tonight. I think everybody's contributed.
Fiddler, Horcoff, and Moen up now. Fiddler and Dominic Moore. Henrik Lundqvist left. Rangers win the draw, but it goes skidding in on Lundqvist, who's forced to stop play.
Dan Boyle had it bounce right over top of his stick and just dribble in. Watch this puck. Boom. Boom. Goes to play. Boom. Back over top again. He's thinking, well, that's why we have goalies.
Same crew will do it again. Fiddler jockeying in there. It's Boyle this time back at his net. Tried a long pass. Moen knocked it down, keeps it in the zone.
Set play to Hagelin, the speedster, to try to spring him in. Had a lot of chances in the game.
Good awareness by Moen, who now has the puck at the line. He'll shoot it around the boards. Miller spikes it out. Demers to Jordy Ben. He relays it in. 6:15 left in the third. Here comes Boyle. Out to center. Eakin forcing him back. Stahl matched up with Garbett. Miller tipped it over. Goligoski has it in full position. He'll flip it ahead to Roussel. Backhands it forward to Garbett. And Hagelin and Roussel at one another. Eakin took it away at center. Slid past Dominic Moore. Takes the line against McDonough. Eakin backhands it in. Roussel cut down back of the net with Boyle, still fighting for the puck. Garbett there. He swung it out front. McDonough pressured again by Roussel. And McDonough slides off the check, comes to center ice. Toward the Dallas line for Nash. Pulls it off the boards, but finds Garbutt. Seguin flips it out.
I could hear Lindy Ruff yelling at Cody Eakin to get off the ice and get Seguin on against a different D pair.
Touchdown to Stahl, a shot, letting in the stop. Haley works it up. Here comes Sevier to the New York line. Left it for Ben. Ben couldn't Ginsu it toward the slot.
How many guys do you have to beat on your way in here? They were folding in.
He gave it to Seguin, and a sort of an awkward shot landed in on Lundqvist. He made the stop. Loose puck at center. Cole jumps on it. Cole moving in, and he can't get away from Stahl.
He looks exhausted, Stahl. Standing still, tried to make a play out of his own zone. They pick it off. Wearily gets back to their bench.
And the Stars played the puck with a high stick at center. Cole with a little bump on John Moore on his way to the Dallas bench. 4:38 remaining in the third. Dallas up 3-2 over the New York Rangers.
On the night, Marty Brodeur registered his 125th shutout, which is insane. We have officially a goalie duel here in Big D. Kari Lehtonen and Henrik Lundqvist. Been perfect in the third period. Lehtonen 27 of 29 in the game. Sparkled on most of the opportunities that have come his way. He's been a little bit fortunate. Got bailed out by Yoki Paka back in the second. They've hit a post in behind him. This is a save in the third period here on Boyle in tight. Lundqvist the same thing the other way. When they've broken down, for the most part, he's been there. Got 21 of 24. Nothing bigger than a couple here in the third period. The Stars on a couple of power plays.
It was 2-2 at the 16:46 mark of the first period. Just the one since, it's Antoine Roussel's. Stepping back inside his own line. 4:25 left in the third. Stars up 3-2. Rangers come to center. Stepan fires it in. Yoki Paka and Daly go back there with Kreider. Spezza into support. They'll lift it toward the line. Klein put it down. Cole pulled him out to center ice with the puck. And they jam it up right there. Hemsky frees it and kicks it across the line. Both teams changing. 4 minutes left. Girardi. Rink wide. Intercepted. That's Seguin. Seguin moving in. Seguin to Sevier. Sevier shooting it. Save. Rebound Ben. Shot it. Save Lundqvist. The side of the net. It's Stempniak picking it up and flipping it past Sevier to center. Hayes knocks it across. Demers in the corner. Fell back at the net. Hagelin trying to center it. Stempniak waiting for it. And Seguin goes up the boards to Sevier. Cut off at center ice. And McDonough flings it right back into his own zone. Here come the Rangers again. Their captain McDonough shoots it in. Lehtonen back of the net. Moved it off McDonough and out of play.
Did it go off? Did it go off McDonough? It did. So no penalty, stays inside. Giveaway. The Ranger defense has done a little bit of that here as the game has worn on. Tough pass for Colt Sevier to shoot off the pass from Seguin. It was behind him. He had to double clutch. Get it to the net. The better opportunity was the rebound right there. And Ben double clutched.
Stahl shoots it in from center. Goligoski trying to hold off Zuccarello. Broussard and Nash, who's been very dangerous tonight. Garbutt over there to challenge him physically along the boards. Klingberg waiting on the outskirts, finds the puck and lifts it off the boards and again into the Dallas bench.
Yeah, Nash has been good. He's on about a 55, 56 goal pace, which if he got there would be a Ranger record. Right now it's held by Jaromir Jagr at 54. About a dozen years or so ago. He just looks like a different guy than he did in the spring, and has, he had multiple concussions he was trying to come back from. Rarely went interior, kind of played a perimeter game. I mean, he's been on the trot here tonight.
5 shots, and that doesn't even begin to tell you how dangerous he's looked. Drop this puck again with 2:49 to play in the third.
It's been a spunky trio for Lindy Ruff, these three in the game.
Starting in their own zone here. Fiddler wins the draw into the corner. Jokipaka tearing after it, tying up San Luis. Back of the net, Fiddler. He jumped after that puck. Flips it forward. Moen had his man in check. There goes Horcoff. And he'll tuck it deep. Moen going back there. Flying to the line. Jokipaka shot it in. Lundqvist moved it over, and Horcoff holding McDonough at bay. Fiddler has the puck in his feet along the boards. Keeping the puck away from Kari Lehtinen. That line doing its job again. 2:10 left, the Stars will change, and here come the Rangers. Klein to Kreider at the Dallas line. Lost the puck, Spezza has it at center, flipped it down the wing toward Hemsky. Klein got it forward. Cole and Spezza work to keep it in along the boards. Klein back of the net. Passing off, and here comes Brassard to center. Hemsky cut him off. Hemsky going after the puck. The Rangers are changing, and Hemsky slides past Boyle to keep it deep. Now Zuccarello moving forward to center ice. Getting it over the Dallas line. There goes Lundqvist toward the New York bench. Expert attacker is coming. Demers floats it ahead. Garbutt chasing after the puck. Garbutt on the wing. Shot it. Just wide. Roussel tapped it out to Eakin. Flung it. Save in front by Zuccarello. The Stars had 2 cracks at that empty net. 1:10 to play. Boyle handing it over to McDonough. Long pass. Eakin knocked it down at the line. Passed it to Garbutt. He'll swing it over toward Roussel, who's battling over there with McDonough. Final minute of the third period. Frantic finish coming. Here comes Nash to the Dallas line. Gunning it. Lehtinen makes the catch. Thought about playing it, thought about shooting it, holds it.
A wise decision there. That's all Nash wanted was a face-off up ice. Well, Lundqvist has been great. Kari Lehtinen has been terrific. Zuccarello's been very good as well. After the original bid by Garbutt, look at Zuccarello. He drops in behind. He makes that save, and then after that, he actually dropped into the posture of a defenseman when the Stars kept it in the zone. If there was going to be another shot, the little elfin Norwegian, watch this, drops back, they don't get it out. Get back, okay, in your stance. Get your stance. Yeah, he's ready to go. So the timeouts go the other way. He and his top line have been shut down tonight in this game. He's a crafty little guy. I like him as a player. Real feisty, physical, honest. I think this has been the best skating game this season for the Dallas Stars. I haven't seen them play with this pace at home, certainly, and probably the road games as well. And they're under a minute away from picking up a very valuable 2 points and starting this homestand off in the right direction.
Cody Eakin won 11 of 17 faceoffs in the game. Empty net at the other end. He'll go with Brassard off the Rangers timeout. Stars up by a goal. Comes to Ben. Ben tried to flip it out. McDonough held it in, but then it's battled out of there by Eakin to Seguin, and he hopped it wide. But he gained the center line, so there's no icing. Eakin chasing, and now it's Stepan with a pass ahead. Here comes McDonough. Half a minute to play. The Rangers are in the Dallas zone. McDonough pushing it around behind. Daly cut it off. Up the wall, past McDonough, past San Luis and out. Ben shadowing him. He gives it to Stepan. San Luis creeping over. Nash from the wall. Shot it. Blocked by Goligoski. Daly pitched it forward to Ben. Will use the boards to get it out to Eakin at center. One man to beat. It's McDonough who blocks it. Loose in front of the New York net. Out to Seguin. He shoots it. Blocked by Boyle. But Rangers' 8-game winning streak is over.
Good game.
Yeah, great.
Good game. Lots of individuals involved. The Stars are getting a little momentum to their overall good play. A crucial victory over the Rangers here on home ice. Everybody contributed from the goal on out.
Dallas Stars opened their 3-game homestand tonight by winning their 6th of their last 7 games against the New York Rangers and getting to within shouting distance of the top 8 in the Western Conference. Tonight's game produced by Jason Walsh and directed by Mark Vittorio. The associate producers are John Sponsler, Doug Foster, and Cody Eastwood. Again, the final score tonight. Stars beat the Rangers 3-2. For Darryl Ray and the rest of the gang, I'm Ralph Strangis. Post-game show coming now.